morning, I'm Amar Singh Pradhan. Let's begin with the top stories this hour. Task force formed by ruling Nepal Communist Party fails to move ahead intra-party unification due to factional power interests. Speculations rife whether the corruption watchdog will be able to probe into the alleged graft during the purchase of wide-body aircrafts. Thousands of demonstrators turn out across France for new Yellow Vest protest, with dozens of arrests and clashes in Paris and other cities. And Chelsea seal a 2-1 win over Newcastle United to stay in the top 4 of the English Premier League. The ruling Nepal Communist Party had formed a 9-member task force to sort out the issues of formulating the party's political and organizational plan, along with party unification by the 9th of January last week. However, let alone submitting its report, the task force has not even yet started deliberation on the major agenda. The report in this regard was supposed to be handed over to the party's chairman duo KP Sharma Oli and Puspa Kamal Dahal. The meetings of the task force have been repeatedly affected as most of the tax committee members are sitting ministers. The issue of the party's leadership has remained a major dispute as leaders are divided on whether to hand over the leadership based on contribution and performance or as per the responsibilities allocated prior to the party unification. The scenario is also likely to influence the party's standing committee's decision to conclude the integration of all intra-party organizations within the 14th of January. The unification of the ranks and files of the erstwhile Sipen Yemal and Sipen Maus Center has only reached the provincial level after 8 months since the merger was announced. Likewise, formation of the party's Politburo and distribution of works among the central members also have remained uncertain. The indefinite extension of the party unification process has not only ensured dissatisfaction among leaders and cadres, but has also rendered the party almost defunct up to the lower level. In the capacity of the ruling party, this has, however, affected the performance and working modality of the government. Nepal Oil Corporation purchased a total of just over 12 hectares of lands in 4 different districts in a bid to construct storage facilities with the capacity of storing petroleum products for at least 3 months. Although the lands were purchased in as much as 3 times the regular rates, no initiative has been taken to build the storage facilities as of yet. The Oil Corporation purchased the lands by breaching the existing Land Procurement Act and without allowing any open competition. The lands bought in Jhapa's Charwali, Chatuan's Lothar, Sarlai's Lalbandi and Bhairava's Rohani riverside cost 1.61 billion rupees in total. However, neither the corporation nor the government knows when would the construction of the storage facilities would actually begin. The corporation's erstwhile executive director Gopal Khadka was drawn into corruption charges related to the procurement of the lands. The Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, meanwhile, has already filed a case against Khadka alleging him of abusing power and responsibility and accumulating illicit wealth during the land procurement procedure. The government had earlier planned to move ahead the construction of the storage facilities by seeking support from one of the Indian consultant companies, but to no avail. The construction of the storage facilities capable to storing fuel for at least months is estimated to cost 21 billion rupees. The amount is equal to the 1 year's of profit of Nepal Oil Corporation. Experts opine that the corporation that undergoes transactions amounting to around 200 billion rupees every year and has already got a new leadership should not shy away from constructing the much touted storage facilities in any pretext. Protests have been held at several places across the country in support of Dr. Govinda Kesi, who has begun his latest round of hunger strike in Ilam from Wednesday. Nepal Doctors Association has expressed concern towards Dr. Kesi's health and has urged the stakeholders to create an environment to put an end to the indefinite hunger strike. A protest was held at the capital's Maitighar Mandala in support of the campaign for improvement in the country's medical education sector and health services yesterday. Participating doctors, law practitioners and people from different walks of life urged the government to address Dr. Casey's demands at the earliest. Dr. Casey's demands include provision of only 5 affiliations from one university in the medical education bill, along with scrapping of medical programs under the certificate level. He has alleged that the bill includes provisions that are at a complete departure from the agreements forged with him in the past. Doctors involved in the cases in treatment have said that early signs of issues in his health have been seen because of numerous hunger strikes. Nepal Doctors Association urged for creation of a conducive environment for ending the hunger strike at the earliest, hinting towards possible serious consequences in Dr. Casey's health. Nepal Army Chief Purna Chandra Thapa was bestowed with Honorary General of the Indian Army by the Indian President yesterday. Chief of Army Staff Purna Chandra Khadka was awarded the Honorary General of Indian Army by the Indian President Ram Nath Kovind amid a special function at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi yesterday. The conferring of the rank insignia was in line with the continuation of exchange of honorary titles between the army chiefs of the two nations since 1950. Welcome back. As the Parliament's Public Accounts Committee has drawn the attention of the corruption watchdog CIA to probe into the alleged corruption during the purchase of the 2 wide-body aircrafts, the attention has shifted towards the anti-graft body. However, speculations are rife if the investigation conducted by the corruption watchdog would actually reach the level of the political leadership. According to the CIA officials, the anti-graft body has been undergoing investigation into the case right after the suspicions of irregularities over the purchase of aircrafts had surfaced. They said that investigations had also focused on the issues regarding the government's guarantee and investments of the government funds during the procurement process. The Public Accounts Committee has concluded the irregularity amounting to more than 4.35 billion rupees during the procurement of the aircrafts. Going by the instances of the financial irregularities confirmed by the committee, the anti-graft body will need to investigate the corporation's leadership along with the top-notch government administrators and political leaders, due to which it is now the responsibility of the CIA to come up with a decision, that too within the 30 days of deadline set by the Public Accounts Committee. It is, however, yet to be seen if the corruption watchdog will be able to live up to its responsibility by protecting itself from any kind of influence or pressure from different political quarters. The Bibekshil Saja party that was formed after merger between 2 different political parties 17 months ago pledged to establish itself as an alternative political force in the country. The party, however, has officially split while it was just in its initial stage of advancing in the national politics after being mired in the dispute on power exercise. This has raised questions on how the parties that claim to be an alternative political power are different from other mainstream parties. Former Prime Minister Baburam Bhattarai too had formed a separate political party named Naya Shakti by quitting the erstwhile unified CPN Maoist with the same pledge of emerging as an alternative to the existing political mainstream. The party, however, started to face power-related rift from the very beginning of its establishment. The influential members that had joined him initially have already parted their ways by now. The campaign, initiated by some enthusiastic youths vowing to do away with the drawbacks and subsequent distrust among the public, eventually turned towards politics by forming Bibekshil Nepali Party. After securing similar number of votes in the local elections, Saja party that was formed right before the elections unified with Bibekshil party during the general elections. Both the parties, however, have separated after 17 months of unification merely due to the differences on views and organizational leadership. The very parties that had pledged to end the persisting malpractices in the national politics and replace it with innovative and altruistic political culture have themselves become the victims of individually oriented practices and interests. This has come as a dismay to the public at large, who were somehow hopeful for the parties that emerged with flamboyant promises of change have turned out to be no different than the already existing ones, according to analysts. And moving on, the Parliamentary Accounts Committee has formed a subcommittee to study the purchase of vehicles by Province 5 Parliament Secretariat and ministries at prices above the market rate. A three-member subcommittee led by Parliamentarian Kul Prasad Pokhral has been formed to investigate the facts by studying the details provided by the ministry and the secretariat. The subcommittee has informed that it has begun the study and investigation with support from experts. The subcommittee has been assigned with 7 days to present the preliminary findings. Prior to this, the Accounts Committee had asked for all details regarding the procurement process of vehicles purchased by the ministries and secretariats under the provincial governments during the ongoing fiscal year. Only 8 ministries and provincial secretaries have submitted the details regarding the vehicles purchased by them. A total of 85 large and small vehicles have been purchased by provincial governments in the current fiscal year. Of them, 16 Tata Safari Storm have been reported of being purchased at a price higher than their market rate. Magar community of Karnali province organized a 5-day-long Maghe Sankranti fair in Surkhet to preserve art and culture of the ethnic group. At the program, they exhibited their traditional costumes, foods and practices. In this context, we had asked the community people in the province, what should the government do to preserve language, culture and originality of Magar community? Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Public voice.
राज्यले नै भाषाको लागि लगानी गर्दियो भने हुँदो रहेछ हैन भने हामी आफैले भाषा जगेर्ना गर्छौं भनेर यो गाह्रो विषय रहेछ।
हाम्रो भाषा संस्कृतिहरुलाई बचाउनको निम्ति हामीले हाम्रा संस्कृति पहिचानहरुलाई यथावत रूपमा जीवन्त राख्न सक्नुपर्छ।
सरकारले जो माघको पहिला दिन छ, माघे संक्रान्ति छ, त्यसलाई हामीले सबैलाई चाहिँ छुट्टी दिए राम्रो हुने थियो।
राज्य पक्षबाट नै यसलाई सुरक्षित गर्नुपर्छ र विद्यालयमा अनिवार्य रूपमा मगर भाषा क्लास हुनुपर्छ।
हाम्रो यो देशकै एउटा संस्कार हो, एउटा गहनाको रूपमा हो। सबभन्दा पहिला चाहिँ यसलाई संरक्षण गर्नको लागि चाहिँ यो देशकै हैन एउटा राज्य सत्ताले चाहिँ त्यो व्यवस्थापन गर्नुपर्छ।
मगरहरुको जुन बाहुल्य क्षेत्र छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ प्रोटेक्टेड एरिया बनाएर त्यसको स्वशासी सरकार नै बनाउनु पर्छ।
आफैमा जागरुक रहनु पर्छ, त्यसमा अल्छी नगरेर यसलाई चाहिँ बचौतको लागि पर्नु पर्छ।
And it's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with their opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, why has Nepal Oil Corporation remained indifferent towards building a fuel storage facility? Our options are A, tendency of mere crisis management, B, avoiding risk, and C, lack of willpower. The voting is on. Type in WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And now time for sports update.
Sports news.
Chelsea defeated Newcastle United 2-1 at the English Premier League to stay at top 4 of the English Premier League. In the match played at Chelsea's home ground Stamford Bridge last night, Pedro gave Chelsea an early lead by scoring in the 9th minute, making use of a pass by David Lewis. Ciaran Clark then came up with an equalizer for Newcastle in the 40th minute and levelled the match at 1-1. Chelsea reclaimed the lead in the 57th minute after Willian scored off Eden Hazard's pass. There was no further goal-scoring actions as Chelsea held on to the 2-1 lead to collect 3 points. With the win, Chelsea are in the 4th position at the points table with 47 points from 22 matches. Liverpool lead the league standings with 57 points from 22 matches. Manchester City are second with 50 points from 21 matches and Tottenham Hotspur are placed third with 48 points from 21 matches. Paris Saint-Germain PSG have taken their unbeaten streak to 18 at French Ligue 1, blanking Amiens 3-0. In the match played in Paris last night, the first half ended at goalless draw. PSG finally took the lead after Edison Cavani converted a penalty kick in the 57th minute. PSG were awarded the spot kick after Alexis Blin handled the ball inside the D-box. Amiens were down to 10 men after Khalid and Adnan was shown the red card in the 66th minute. Kylian Mbappe then doubled the lead for PSG in the 70th minute, scoring his 14th goal of the season in 17 matches. Marquinhos scored PSG's third to seal the 3-0 win. PSG lead the French Ligue 1 table with 50 points from 18 matches. Juventus have advanced to the quarterfinals of the Coppa Italia, defeating Bologna 2-0. In the match played at Bologna's home ground last night, Bandaschi scored in the 9th minute to give Juventus an early lead. Keane doubled the lead for Juventus by scoring a goal in the 49th minute, and Juventus held on to win the match 2-0. Cristiano Ronaldo appeared in the match only as a substitute in the second half. Departmental team Armed Police Force APF have clinched the title of the New Diamond Cup National Women's Volleyball Tournament. Avenging their loss in the earlier edition of the tournament, APF defeated the organizers New Diamond Academy yesterday to clinch the title. New Diamond won the first set 25-16, while APF secured victories in the remaining 3 sets 25-21, 25-23 and 25-18. The winners got home with the cash prize of 301,000 rupees, while the runners-up New Diamond Academy received 201,000 rupees. Meanwhile, Nepal Police Club secured the 3rd position by defeating Pokhara's top school 3-0. APF's Usha Bister was declared the best blocker in the tournament, while the award of the best player went to Saraswati Chaudhary, and APF's Gyanendra Bister was given the best coach award. And before we wrap up this morning news bulletin, here's a look at the top stories one more time. Task force formed by ruling Nepal Communist Party fails to move ahead intra-party unification due to factional power interests. Speculations right whether the corruption watchdog will be able to probe into the alleged graft during the purchase of wide-body aircrafts. Thousands of demonstrators turn out across France for New Yellow Vest protest, with dozens of arrests and clashes in Paris and other cities. And Chelsea seals a 2-1 win over Newcastle United to stay in the top 4 of the English Premier League. And those were our latest headlines. Stay with us for more news and entertainment on KTBSD. Good day.